Welcome to Pishi Bomba. My name is Claire Karatu. Now recently somebody asked me what my traditional food is and I couldn't really pick one. In the name of tradition today, we have a special guest in the pneumatic kitchen joining us and showing us some of their cuisines that they cook at home on a daily basis. So let's jump into the food and find out who's joining us and what we'll be making. All right, now if you see a guest join me on set immediately, then you know we are in for a treat. I'll let her introduce herself and what we'll be making.
Hi guys, my name is Ayan Jama and I'm a food blogger, or I love cooking, and so today I'm here to show you how to make Suqaar and Baris, which is a Somali traditional meal that we normally have it for lunch, dinner. As long as it has contained meat, we eat it at any time. And for the Suqaar, it's like beef cubes into very, very small cubes. You make a beef stew out of it, and then you can either have it with chapati, some rice, some anjera, ugali, whatever that is in your kitchen. So welcome.
I'm excited to have her in this kitchen because she's the one who taught me how to make Somali anjera.
Thank you.
Till today, I love it so much. She's the one who taught me that workout. But I'm so glad to have you in the kitchen today. Please take us through the ingredients that we have.
Okay, so we have the rice here.
Okay. And I can see it's soaked. Why is it soaked?
I already soaked the rice just to make it easier to absorb the water and cook faster.
Okay.
And then we have tambi, also known as vermicelli. And in Somali, we call it adriyad. So this is just either for dessert, or you can just eat it with your pilau or whatever you want. And for the Suqaar, we have some potatoes over here. We have our meat that is beef into cubes. And then we also have some onions, very well chopped. And then we have some hoho, or it's pepper. And then here we have ginger, garlic mince. We have the margarine here that is going to be used in making the vermicelli. We have, of course, some lemon. Everything here almost needs lemon or lime.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
We need this for the garnishing part, which is dhania or coriander.
Okay.
We also need the sugar for the vermicelli, because it's like a dessert. And we have some vinegar here. So the vinegar is going to be used in making the salad and also cooking the meat. And we have our different types of spices over here. We have thana jeera here. We have mixed spices. We have beef cubes. And we have naan cubes. And also pilau masala and Spanish paprika. We have some black pepper. And we also have some salt. And finally, we also have some tomato paste. So I know you wonder what we're going to do with all these spices. We're going to divide all the spices in cooking whatever we're cooking. And for the salad part, we have some lettuce, we have some carrots, some tomatoes, some cucumber, and we also have the oil that is going to be used in cooking everything here. So yeah, we're ready to start.
All right, now I can see our accompaniment is going to be rice. What would you like to start with first, and how can I help you?
Okay, so I'll start with making the Suqaar first.
Okay.
And I'll also make the rice. So we can start with either, but let's start with the Suqaar first, because it's a bit complex a little bit.
All right, now which pot would you like?
For the Suqaar,
yeah.
I'd like that one.
This one.
Yeah.
Here you go. Which flame, the big one or the medium one?
The big one is fine, so we can cook a little bit faster.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna switch this on for you. Now, you said it's called Suqaar.
Yes, Suqaar, which is S-U-Q-A-A-R.
Okay.
Yeah. So first, we're gonna take you have to make sure you clean the meat first, and then you're just gonna put it straight in the pot, and just make sure you let the water dry.
Okay.
Yeah.
No oil, no nothing.
No oil, no nothing first. So it's just gonna dry. Instead of boiling the meat, we're just gonna stir it first. Make sure all the water is gone.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're just gonna give it some time. So can we continue something else, or
yes,
just this
we
one?
can do
two
the
pots.
rice. Yeah. Which pot would you like?
That one.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay. Now she had pre-soaked the rice. You said it's going to help with making it cook faster and soak the water faster.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. How long should it take? Just until it dries? Should we brown it?
No. Just until it dries, and then we're gonna add the spices, the oil.
Okay.
This is so easy to make. You don't need like a very long process. So also for the rice, we're not gonna do so much. We're just gonna fry the rice a little bit with spices. We don't want to have like bare or like no taste rice. Okay. So you're just gonna add some oil. You can just take like a spoonful of oil. And then if you have crushed If you have crushed cumin seeds, anything that you have, like all the spices, you can add. So for me, I just have like the black pepper.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna let that be a little bit hot, and then I'm gonna add a bit of onions.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
Okay.
We don't need so much onions when we're making the rice. Okay, so as we continue cooking, you can see here I'm frying the onions for making the pilau, the baris. And then here also the beef is here. We're just gonna let this the water like absorb and everything, and then we're gonna add the spices, the onions. It's a very quick fix meal. You don't have to be like so worried about the time. So for this side, I'm just gonna add my ginger garlic paste a little bit so it can fry with the onions. You don't really need your onions to become really brown.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the process. You just continue stirring.
Can you add garlic ginger paste?
Yeah, paste, whatever you have, as long as it's ginger garlic in whatever form you're gonna use. You're gonna grate it, you're gonna make a paste, you're gonna cut them, chop them, whatever, as long as you have. The flavor is very, very important.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're gonna continue stirring, and if you're a bit impatient, you can also remove the broth from the meat, and you can use it later.
Okay.
But yeah, we can continue.
All right, now we've drained our broth from the meat, so I'm just going to place it here because she said we're going to use that. That's all that flavor.
Yeah.
Now, I want to ask you something. Most people is me, seasoning, hakuna seasoning hapo.
Bado.
Bado.
Lakini tutaiweka tu saizi. We'll do that in the next few minutes.
Okay.
So let's focus on the rice because the onion is already cooking. Now I'm going to take pilau masala.
Okay.
For the rice, I don't need any other spice. Just pilau masala and the salt.
Okay.
Okay. So you can take a tablespoon of your pilau masala and add here.
Straight into the onions and the garlic ginger.
And then give me the salt, please.
The salt.
Pass me the salt, thank you. And then you can just, do you need a spoon?
Yes, you can have a spoon, that's fine.
To your taste, you can add salt to your taste, okay?
Yeah.
I need to reduce this, doesn't burn. Okay, you see in your broth. You see now the broth is what we will need to just make sure our onion does not burn.
Okay.
Yeah. Just gonna add.
Now straight in there. It smells fantastic in this kitchen, especially because of that garlic ginger. And we can see our meat is drying out. Would you like your rice?
Yes. Now I would like to add the rice now.
Okay. With the water?
Yeah, it's already drained. So it just has a little bit of water.
Okay.
And this was 2 cups of rice. And then you're gonna use the same cup that you used to measure your rice to measure water. Okay. So for 2 cups of rice, you're gonna use 3 cups of water.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not 4. People
Not
do the ratio. Okay, okay.
Yeah, but for me, I'd rather that. So if I just add gradually, just not to have to make a mistake.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, now we've got our rice cooking. Would you like me to put some water for you in here?
Yes, please. And give me that glass. There's the glass we were using.
This, is it the smaller, this big one?
Yeah, that one.
Okay. So 3 of these.
Yeah. So we're almost done with the rice. We're just gonna add some water and let the rice cook as we focus on the suqaar.
All right, now in goes the water. I can just pour it?
Yeah, that's 3 cups of water.
Yes, 3 cups.
Good job.
All right, now we've just added that in there.
Just gonna mix. Now you can cover that. Now let's now focus on the suqaar part as the rice is cooking. Now since the water is gone or the broth is gone, we're just gonna add the black pepper part.
Okay.
Black pepper is very, very good for the meat.
Okay.
Just a little bit. Hold this for me. Thank you. Pass me some salt.
Some salt.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Gonna add salt for the flavor.
Would you like some no oil goes in here yet?
Not yet. I'm gonna add the spices before I'm seasoning. We season it before the oil. Because you see, oil makes the process faster.
Okay.
When I add oil, the process will go so fast. And I just want the meat to cook with the flavors first without the oil. So when I add the oil and the onions, everything is just so quick at that point.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So in goes the cubes.
Yeah, I'm gonna take just 1 piece of a cube and just add. There you go. And then we also have our non-cube. And just add a little bit.
Okay.
And then we have our paprika. No, I mean, this is tanajira, sorry. We're gonna add just a little bit to your taste. And then we have the Spanish paprika.
Now for this part, can people at home add their own
Any
spices?
type of spices
Any type
you have.
of spice.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is my pilau masala. Or add all the spices you have in your house.
Okay.
To your taste and flavor.
Yeah.
There is no restrictions.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is very interesting. I love the fact that the flavor is now, it's going to coat the meat
first.
So then, and then now when you begin to fry, sasa itaingia kabisa.
Alafu itaibaraka. It will cook so fast.
Okay.
Now you can see even the color, like it has no oil, but you can see it looks like really nice.
Yeah, it looks nice. Now, for those who are scared about it kuwa ngumu, how have we helped it sort of tender out?
Okay, so I'm gonna add the ginger.
Okay.
Here's the ginger. We have the ginger and the garlic.
Okay.
This is also known, it's a tenderizer. It's good for preservation. And then I'm gonna take a piece of lemon juice, and then I'm just gonna squeeze.
There you go.
Yeah, so also the lemon is gonna act as a tenderizer.
Okay.
Yeah, so just mix this. I'm about to add the oil.
Okay.
But first I want all this flavor to be well incorporated into the meat. And this also process will make the meat very tender.
I see.
Yes. Now we can add the oil.
Now we can add the oil. Would you like a whole spoon?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
That's
now
it.
This is okay?
Yeah, that's okay.
In goes our oil.
Yeah.
And look at that. You said the process from here is going to be very
easy.
fast.
So I'm just gonna let this fry a little bit.
Okay.
Before I add. So when I add the onion, I don't have to let the onion fully cook.
Okay.
Yeah, we want that taste of onion and the taste of
Hoho.
the hoho, yeah.
Okay.
The pepper.
Okay. All right, now we've switched the pan so that we can have the rice cook a lot faster and move the beef here. So what do we do next?
So we'd add the potatoes. We have potatoes.
Okay.
Before the onions, we add the potatoes.
Okay.
Okay? Because we're not trying to fully cook the onions, so the potatoes should go in first.
Okay. All right, now I love the fact that there's always different methods and different ways, of cooking something, and this is totally new to me. And of course, if you're viewing this for the very first time, please let us know once you try it. And it looks already and smells fantastic. I can't wait to try that. All right, now after the potatoes,
the next day, we're just gonna let it cook for a little bit, and then we're gonna add our tomato paste.
Okay.
And then after the tomato paste, we'll add a bit of vinegar, and then the onions. We don't need tomatoes for this because we're gonna use the paste. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So now I can just use my tomato paste. Like you can take like 2 tablespoons or 2 teaspoons, according to your flavor. Everything here works with according to your flavor and taste.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you want to cook that down a little bit.
Yeah, cook it. So I'm gonna add the broth. Okay. Or some water. It doesn't matter. Like you can add broth, you can add water, whatever that is available close to you. But always make sure when you're cooking, you have a glass of water or broth next to you, just in case you don't want your pan to burn and then the food will lose the taste.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, now we've got a little bit of that mchuzi just kicking in. We've got the rice nice and cooking. It smells fantastic. And that adds, look at how now saucy it looks like.
Yeah.
Ooh. All right.
So let's get into the rice. Let's see how far the rice is. Yeah.
Now you're mixing your rice.
Yeah, have to mix the rice, and you always have to taste if the salt is enough. Okay. Would you like to taste?
Yes, please, sure, absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry if I burned you.
No, no, no. It's fine.
One thing about women in kitchen, we don't get burned.
Yeah, I'm fine.
The
seasoning is perfect.
Perfect, yeah?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Sour. So now the water is still full, like it still needs to cook.
Okay.
Now let's go back here. Can pass me kindly the onions. Where the onions? Yeah, they're here.
Right there.
So guys, you need to add onions, and it has to be enough onions. Don't be generous with onions. Okay. So this was like 1 whole onion.
A huge one.
Yeah, I'm just not gonna add all of it.
Yes.
I'm just gonna add like a little bit.
I love that. All right, now this you said should be nice and crunchy. And of course the onion will also soak in that flavor that you put in with the spices.
Yeah.
And the potatoes will cook through. Do we need to cover this?
Yeah, we do need to cover this and add a bit of water at this
let
point.
me get you some water.
So you need like a glass of water or a cup of water to add, and just Let it simmer down a little bit, and then we're gonna add our coriander for just garnishing and some hoho. So this is a cup of water. Just add this and let it cover.
All right.
I'm wondering, I know most of you are probably wondering why I did not start with the onion first, because that's what people usually do. But in this recipe, we don't start with the onion because we want the onion to be the last, almost the last part. We want to taste and feel the texture of the onions.
Okay, and the hoho.
And the hoho, yes. The hoho almost has to go the last thing, because when you eat the hoho, you have to feel the crunchiness.
Completely, okay.
Yeah, like the crunch.
I love that. All right, now we're gonna wait for our rice to get ready. We're gonna come back with the stew when it's also cooked through, so that we can add in our last bit. So we're gonna go on a short break and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Pishi Bomba. We are in the kitchen with the beautiful, the talented
Ayan Jama.
And we've made some delicious Somali dishes. If you're just joining us, you can be able to catch us on ntvkenya.co.ke to sort of see the step-by-step of the things that we have done. And so now what we're gonna do is, I guess, go through the rest of it, yeah?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so now guys, you can see we've added the broth or the water. It has gone down, meaning our potatoes are almost done.
Okay.
But we're not gonna let them fully cook, so we can add our
hoho.
Pili hoho or pepper. So in goes the hoho.
Okay.
And then you just mix it.
I love the pop of green. Can you use a red?
Yeah, actually, mostly we mix all the colors.
Okay.
Normally we mix all the colors.
Okay.
But you can use whatever is available. We're not being restrictive.
Okay.
And then now I'm just gonna add, for a bit of flavor, just a little bit. This is vinegar. I just added like 2 teaspoons.
Okay.
And I'll also use lemon.
Okay.
You can always squeeze your lemon through your fingers just to make sure you
sieve
this. Yeah, sieve the seeds from it. And then
All right, now I love the fact that there's that a little bit of acidity that's gonna go in to give it that lovely kick.
Yeah.
And of course, like she said, the capsicum will be nice and crunchy as well, not overcooked. We've got our rice almost ready, and I do know there is another dish that we'll be making, which is the vermicelli, and then we've got the salad as well.
Yeah, make sure you taste if your spices are enough, if the salt is enough, and if you like chili, you can go ahead and add a bit of chili.
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah, like green chili, you can just cut it into 2 and just throw it in there.
Okay.
Just to give you that thing. That's it.
The kick.
Yeah, like you just need that bit of kick. So, well, we're gonna check our rice, how far it's going, and always make sure you use a fork. If you use a mwiko, you're gonna make your rice equal ugali. So just to spread it out, you just check the rice. You see, it has come out so well.
Okay.
I'll check if this is the texture I want, and if this is not the texture I want, I'll just add a little bit of water and oil. Okay. Yeah, I just need like a few more minutes and then it will be done.
Okay, perfect. All right, now we're gonna let that get ready. There's nothing else we're adding on to this, no. And so we're gonna jump into our salad and vermicelli.
Yeah.
All right, now take us through the salad, please.
Okay, so we have our lettuce already fresh. These are fresh lettuce. We've cleaned it thoroughly, cut them into nice chops, and then we're just gonna add our carrots. That is grated carrots.
Okay.
Everything it's a garden salad, so you just put everything together. You have your onions. You add your onions there. You have your tomatoes. You have the cucumber. You can add all, but I think it's like a lot.
Yeah.
Should I just add all of it?
That's fine. That's fine. Okay.
So now the seasoning, you just need some salt. It's very essential. And a black pepper. We have some vinegar. Okay, and some lemon.
Okay. Straight into that.
Yeah, and then you can add a bit of olive oil if you'd like, or vegetable oil, whatever oil you like, but it's not necessary. And then you're just gonna mix this together. Mix your salad.
Okay.
Just mix.
Just make sure everything is well incorporated. The seasoning is spread out nicely. Now, how do we deal with the water that's released? I like it because it adds to the vinaigrette that you've
you like
thrown in
from
there.
the salad?
Yes.
For me personally, I like sieving it. I don't like the water because when the salad absorbs water and you put it in the fridge, it becomes soggy.
Yes.
So I avoid the water part.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, and then our garden salad is ready.
Okay.
That's it. We're gonna serve this on this side. If you wanna eat with the rice together or you wanna eat it aside, that's up to you.
All right. Now we're gonna jump straight to now our delicious treat.
Vermicelli.
Yes. Please tell us what we're gonna do next.
So you're gonna take a pot and then you need first some oil, enough oil. First of all, you have to fry your vermicelli until it's like golden brown, and then remove the excess oil and then add some water. Yeah, a cup of oil here. And I'm just gonna let this heat up a little bit. You just need it to heat up a little bit. So guys, we are going to fry our vermicelli now. Dip it in the oil. Okay. And that's it. Just make sure you keep on turning.
Okay.
Because if you don't, one side will be brown, the other one will not be.
Now, you said the reason that we're frying it first is so that it can be nice and crunchy.
Yeah, nice and crunchy and to get the brown color.
Okay.
Yeah.
That adds to the flavor as well, right?
And it can like after all that process, because we need to add some margarine and some sugar, so it's gonna be, you know, that desserty like feel like. Ooh. I don't know how to say it, but it's gonna be
That's
delicious.
What it is.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna let that fry for a bit and then do the rest of the process.
Yeah.
All right, now we're gonna drain our oil.
Yeah.
Okay.
So after stirring, it's become golden brown. I'm just gonna drain the oil, the excess oil. You needed the oil to fry.
And the best thing about this is you can reuse the oil.
Yeah.
Please don't dump that.
Yeah, don't dump it. That's good oil. Yeah. And then now we're gonna add the water. You need a glass of water.
Okay.
A bit. No, that's fine. So you're gonna take a bit of margarine and just add. Okay.
Can you use butter or ghee?
Yeah, you can use butter. Actually, ghee and butter is the best.
Okay.
They are the best because of the flavor.
Okay.
But we just use whatever we have available.
Okay.
And then I have sugar. You need enough sugar. So this is half a cup of sugar. I'm just gonna add.
Okay.
And let it simmer down. You can see how it looks really good.
It looks fantastic. And I can imagine it's just going to get really nice and creamy and sweet as
well.
well.
So the butter is still, the butter or the margarine and the water is going to now let it cook like pole, like slowly. And then yeah, you just need to cover it and give it some few minutes until the water is gone.
Fantastic. All right, now we're going to wait for that to get ready. We're going to serve and try this dish. All right, now please explain to me how I can enjoy this.
Okay, so this is a full plate of a Somali meal. We have Baris, Suqaar, and Adriyad. You just have to eat from each sector. Like you can take a bit of the vermicelli with the rice and the meat and the salad and some pili pili and enjoy.
All right, now you said by hand is best.
Yeah.
Then I shall do exactly that.
Yeah, so
you said
do this.
You do this, you get a little bit of the
rice.
The
and
rice.
Then pick some vermicelli.
Okay.
Some meat.
Okay.
And some salad and eat
some
together.
Salad.
Yeah.
And eat it all together.
So you need all the flavors together. The sweet, the sour, the salt, or this, yeah, all that. She approves it. Okay.
This is so delicious. This is so good. I always like a little bit of flavor balance, especially because the sweetness acts like, you know, we have raisins in something.
Yeah.
So then there's that pop of sweetness and then the tenderness of the meat. And the rice is just cooked to perfection. And of course, like you said, the vinegar in that just balances everything.
Everything, yeah.
Thank you so much. I'm going to dig in with, in just a bit. But for now, that's it for today here on Pishi Bomba. Where can they find you?
My brand name is Her Kitchen Sauce. You can find me on TikTok, on Instagram. And yeah, you can order food, sauces and everything ready for you.
I love that. Thank you so much for tuning in. Happy cooking.